Missed it.
Indeed.
Welcome, everyone, to the Heraldry Hangout for July 1st, 2014. We have some of the usual cast of suspects. We have Amber and Grant and Trennick and Jerikith, and some of you may recognize Rustic Dragon. It's going to be mostly a very light week this week in terms of what we have to cover. And I need to pull up my notes. That would help. One moment. I wait 5 minutes to make sure I have everything going, and then I forget to pull up my notes. Alright. So, first of all, first order of business, it has been over 3 months since we heard anything from Corin, and probably a good 6 months since he's been regularly active. We gave him a month ago, to get in touch with us. We've heard nothing. So, as of today, we're going to retire him to Sovereign Emeritus, which is kind of roughly an equivalent to Herald. Has a strong voice, but not a final vote in the movement of the college should he come back. And to take his place so that we have 5 active sovereigns, we would like to nominate, not Rustic Dragon, Amber. That's for me, and Adrian, who could not be here, asked me to deliver his vote in absentia for Amber. Grant, what say you?
I have no nay, so I say aye.
Awesome. So, welcome, 5th Sovereign Amber, who is still on the radio, apparently.
She does know that you, Amber, you do know now that you have to go through all those 573 devices and vote on them, right?
Yes, and I'm no longer on the radio, actually, and thank you guys. And yeah, I have to go through all 520 billion charges.
No, you don't have to. It's just the ones that haven't passed yet that you have to vote on.
I can handle that.
So, welcome, Sovereign Amber. Yay, I'm not the only girl in the Sovereigns anymore. Let's see. Grant, you had the next order of business. You have many updates to give us from what I hear.
One, let me start with my other one, more college business. A lot of the devices in Trello are awaiting work from artists or heralds, and the sense I'm getting is they're just sitting there. Can we assign them out?
Yeah, I had that on my notes next.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We're going to have to just start keeping a log of who is active, who is wanting things to do, and just assign them stuff.
My thought was we could take them in Trello, move the card to that artist or herald. If they haven't touched it in a week, we move it to the next one.
Right.
And then that way the card is, we know where the card is because the card is in play. That way it doesn't have multiple copies.
Right.
Does that make sense?
I wasn't sure if we wanted to do it that way or do a copy onto the to-do boards and then just have them update the main board.
I think with a copy, we're going to get duplication of comments and focus. Trennick, what's your experience with assigning workout?
You're muted, Trennick.
Sorry, I thought I unmuted. I guess not. For me, it seems the better solution is moving the single card between the different boards. You will end up with duplicates. One entering the submissions process and maybe getting passed or denied and moving off that list, and then it coming back a few weeks after that.
I'm just worried about them getting lost if we actually remove the card from the submission board.
Well, if it needs work, it's not submitted.
That's true.
technically speaking, then it would have to be resubmitted once work is updated. And if it does get lost,
That makes sense.
either the applicant has not given an update back or the Herald has not updated it, in which case we can always review the Herald's lists and see what they do.
That's true. That makes good sense. So the submission board would basically only be, we think this is finished.
And it's ready for submission and vote, right.
Gotcha. That would make sense. Yeah, I could see that.
Who do we dole them out to? Just do artists and heralds go into the same group?
Well, anyone that's willing to... We're going to have to get a little more organized on who does what and who is active.
Okay.
Bajan and I had created at one point a little form to fill out for all the college members that would feed into a spreadsheet that included things like that. And we're going to need to get people on that and start keeping track of it. And we're going to need to send out, I guess on the forum, probably in the sub-forum, on SOTA, we're going to need to put out a call and say, look, guys, this is it. We need to know who's active and and start updating and keeping track of who's actually active and removing people that are no longer active.
Are they all registered in Trello at the moment?
No, not even a fraction of them. That's what I'm talking about, is we have a lot of people that said, oh yeah, I want to take part, and then we haven't heard from them in 4 months.
Okay. The people who are in Trello, are they active?
Mostly.
So we could assign it out to them, and then as more people get into Trello, spread it out more, right? Would that work?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
So we will need to get to work on that. That doesn't really need to be done during the Hangout, but probably at some point this week we will need to...
Yeah, we can just
we just start assigning cards to people.
And then we kind of look what how many cards each herald or artist has assigned to them, and then just kind of even it out.
Right. Bajan has mostly, I think, has he been still doing all the technical cleanup on the charges?
Yes, well, he has about 50 or so charges in the works.
Well, I didn't know, since his personal issues.
Right,
if
that
he's
has
still
kind of been
active.
taking more of a forefront. It looks like he got pretty busy now, caught up with him.
Right. I figure we'll just leave him doing the charges and assign the devices to everybody else.
Sure. Yeah, he has a good grasp on the charges. Cool.
Rustic, did you have anything specific you were wanting, or just tagging along for the fun of it?
Mostly just tagging along. I hadn't heard from you guys in a while. With Jordan's with Jordan's injury, I hadn't really heard anything from you guys in a while, and sometimes what I hear is really good news, and sometimes what I hear is not so good news, and I didn't know whether or not no news was good or bad news. So I just wanted to reconnect and stick my head in here and see what the state of the realm is on your end, and just really be kind of a fly on the wall and add input if you need it today.
Cool.
The summary of the last month or so for the college, as you probably know, Frank resigned. He is now Sovereign Emeritus. We promoted Grant here to take his place. He's been working hard away on the generator, which is becoming really awesome. With Corin being so absent, we have decided to get a new website that Grant is handling that will have all of the information, and then he's incorporating the gallery function directly into the generator, so you can just save your device and it'll show up automatically in the gallery. So yeah, it's mostly just been quiet, plodding along, getting stuff done. Not always as much stuff as we would like, but a lot of us have been having personal issues the last few weeks. So.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Any progress is better than no progress. So Tassilo told me the other day, epic mustache guy, he said if you have 5 weeks of work and you get 80% done in every week for 5 weeks, then you have a pretty good product. If you hold out for 100% 1 week, which causes you to fail completely for 2 weeks and get 50%, then you actually end up with an overall crappy product. So any progress, slow and steady, is better than no progress or having a completely off week. So I'm glad to hear that things are moving, even if it's just a little bit.
Yeah. Like I said, the devices are getting made and submitted, and not always approved as fast as we would like, but yeah, it's moving along. It's mostly just been very quiet. We haven't had much drastic change other than in who has what title. So, welcome, Golem.
Evening, everyone.
Oh, that's right.
And then, Grant,
Yes,
back to you for the big updates.
Right. There we go. Ha! I knew there was something missing. Let me screen share. Okay. Can you see it?
Yep.
Alright, so the big addition is now user roles, and college users can save off devices to other registered people. And so I'll just log in. Let's see there. We now have an avatars tab that lists all public available. I can see everybody, but if you're not a college person or a super admin, you only see the publicly available ones. And so you can look at people's profiles, see what they have. Let's see, so I can go in and manage users. I can set up a new person. We have these levels of roles. Super admin is basically me. Applicants are normal registered users that come in trying to register their device. Then we have heralds and sovereigns. And the only real difference between heralds and sovereigns is that the sovereigns can see more of the permissions. And so you can see who has what access. So now as a herald or as a sovereign, you can go in and register a new user. I'll just do a dummy email, or let's see. I want to do it.
Well,
so
if anyone was looking for his email account.
Grant test account. So you can set it up, and you don't specify the password or anything like that. You just email and the soda forum name, so we can identify who they are. And this will then fire off an email. So I should be getting that any second here. There we go. To the user that you just registered. So they can now go in and they have a temporary password. They can log in, use that temporary one to access their account. And now I'm working with the test account, so I can go in and add an avatar. I'll call him there.
I wonder what charge you'll use.
There we go. So now I can work with Chuckles, and I can go make a charge for Chuckles. Yeah, I'll make it really simple. I'll just use Chuckles. There we go.
Well, you need to give him the fro.
Oh yeah.
One thing that I don't know if it's planned is to be able to change the order of devices.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Planned. Was that it?
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. So now I'm going to save it off, and I have a list of all the users that have a username. So Chuckles is this guy, and bad boy just has a description. Now that saved it off to Chuckles' account. I can make it public for him. If we approve it, we can go to the gallery, and we can now see it's right there.
Awesome.
So that should help with anything you're making for somebody else on the forums. You can set up a profile for them as long as you have their email address.
That's awesome.
Uh,
Why are some of them smaller?
oh, it's just these are old ones. Fire Angel made them from the old system.
Ah,
They're the old with lots of white space around it.
gotcha.
Let's see, accounts. That's the same. You can now upload devices for others if you're a SODA member, College of Arms member. So I can upload devices for any of these people.
Cool.
So if we're doing things that the generator can't do, you can upload them this way.
Right.
Like blazons that uses charges that are limited to one person.
Say again?
Like blazons that use a charge that's limited to one person only.
The
Or
hidden
one
ones.
place. The hidden charges. The special ones.
Oh! Do we have those?
Short busts.
Do we have charges that are exclusive?
There are a couple.
Just
We'll
curious, because I figured that's bound to come up at some point. So why not ask
Yeah.
now?
We'll upload those until the generator can handle it. Because
Or,
eventually the generator will have to handle it. So what we have is-
Counter-charging.
Yes, countercharge.
Exactly. There's another part that can be added in there.
Or
Yeah.
line effects.
Such as?
Wavy.
Oh, yes, right, the different borders.
Right.
And that's about it. Today was a really busy day on the changelog. We went from version 13 to 19 today.
Oh my goodness.
Lots of bug fixes.
Awesome.
Yeah, so... Oh, and Andrew supplied us with a new 404 error page.
That's awesome.
There. Can you see it, Andrew?
Joseph, you should enjoy that thoroughly. I thought of you when I selected the image.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Who doesn't love drawing and quartering a helpless person?
No comment. Only in video games.
The reason we put this in there was that there are a lot of people trying to hack it, thinking it's a WordPress site, so they were trying to sneak in backdoors. So I wanted to put something there to show them that we were watching. Yeah.
I will say I have played in grand total about 30 minutes of Classic Ultima, and I know what that is.
Yeah, I'm in about the same boat.
It's a memorable scene, and so it very much is worthwhile. I went through my about 20 gigs worth of Ultima stuff on my external hard drive, and that one stood out.
Cool, thanks. All right, well that's it. That's the news from Blazon Forge, I guess. Oh, there was one other bit of news. We have a new domain name. Let me see. sotacoa.com, which will be going into effect soon. Sotacoa.
Awesome.
That'll be the next step. All right, that's it on my side.
Does anybody else have any news, questions, thoughts, brainwaves? Is anyone else alive?
I'm not dead yet.
Not quite dead yet.
'Twas just a scratch.
It's a flesh wound.
Yeah.
You're looking at furs. What kind of
Oh.
furs?
Right.
I'm looking at Trello to see if there's anything on there that I forgot to ask about.
We don't have a limitation on furs, right? Not fur. If there is a pattern we want to add, there's no restriction, right?
Like what?
Like amulets. Amuletti.
I don't think so. Not sure why you would want to, but I would figure you would just do a semi.
Say again? What?
Wouldn't you just do a semi?
What's a semi?
Making a pattern out of whatever charge.
Oh! Right. We don't have that yet.
Well, that's not my fault.
Well,
Well-
that's gonna get a little wacky though. I mean, some of these charges, if you pattern them, it's gonna look absolutely absurd.
Well, yes, and
Yeah.
most semis do.
Yeah, okay, cool. No, yeah.
But yeah, I don't see any reason to limit it. It
The
would
on- the
just
only
be
restrictions
considered
we
a
had were
semi
for-
rather than a pattern.
The only restrictions we had were for furs, right? Because they're special. They're named.
Right. Well, even that's I wouldn't consider restricted. It's just they have special names.
Right. But we made some up that were special.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That answers my question.
Have you decided on what fur you want to use?
Oh, yeah.
Pattern?
Dracon.
Huh?
Here, hang on. Dracon.
That's me!
No! Where? Dang it.
Dead.
Oh snap!
Ejected. Yeah. Shoot. Then I haven't decided yet, I guess.
I would propose one of you should take Serpenty and one of you should take Phoenixy.
Well, I'll take
But-
Phoenixy then. I don't like Serpenty so much. Well, Serpent. The E would always be the pattern with a different color. And Serpent would be the one with the specific colors. So let's see. Pattern. I was playing with the Phoenix pattern, but okay, I'll do Phoenix 3 across.
Which self-bear?
Here, I'm registering it. Hang on.
What is that word, Amber?
Vexelfey.
Have we added the Gyrony Arondi at all yet?
No.
That was the
That's-
other part.
That was what Naranta said before with the wavy lines.
Wait, so I use the right term and she doesn't? That makes no sense for our principal.
I said line treatments.
Oh, see, that's completely different, dude.
Okay, this is the one I'm thinking of. There we go.
Yeah, that's Phoenix. Although I still liked adding the chevrons in it.
Chevrons?
I made an alternative Phoenix version.
Oh, do you have a link?
No, but I can screen share it.
Well, Amber has a
Wait,
link.
maybe I do.
What are we looking at here?
What is that?
Vexelfey. Interesting. That's like
Oh.
countercharged Ver.
I like the Varan point. That's pretty. What am I looking
That
for?
is cool.
Oh yes, my Phoenixy.
Hey, that's
see if I
German.
have
You
it.
set it up a German site. Verschobenes Gegensturz Krükenfee. That's funny.
Ah, yes, there was my proposal for Phoenixy. 1 second. There we go. And for our viewers at home, I will do a screen share.
Why was that one not taken?
There was much confusion and discussion, and it just never really got answered. I don't know. I think this would be much more evocative of Phoenix. To me, it's a lot more evocative of feathers.
Oh, I see. See, I think of Phoenix as fire, not feathers.
No, it's both.
Oh, right, yeah. But no, I see what you're...
I definitely get a both vibe out of that.
Yeah, the extra red stroke lines creating that division is a little just nice extra touch.
That's what I thought.
What if you made those small diamonds orange? Just to play around.
Trying to envision that. I could whip it up real fast, I suppose. Let me get Photoshop going. It takes a minute on this computer. I thought it just really took it from... I think the main argument about it was that it got into the realm of line art.
Oh.
But the main pattern is still the diamonds on the lattice background. I think the line art could just be considered accent, you know.
Or you can consider it two different shapes. A diamond and a chevron.
That's true. Let's see. Where is that file? Like this. Do you happen to know the RGB value for the orange?
I can get it. Tincture for orange.
Amber has a good point there. We would have to fimbriate it then.
Yeah, you'd have orange on red is color on color. You'd have to fimbriate it in order to do that.
Shush.
No, because it's a pattern. It's not a charge on a charge.
With patterns, you would contour it. The orange is E67305.
E what?
I think.
E what?
Trenig has it.
Okay, I'm not looking at you. Say it, please.
230.
230.
115.
115.
005.
That's too many numbers.
Are you doing hex code or RGB?
Yeah, hex code.
Oh, okay. E6 7305.
Okay. Ah, no. Tolerance too high. Come on. There we go. Oh, that looks really neat.
Share.
Let me finish.
No,
I have to fill in all of these diamonds. Oh, I really like that. I really, really like this. There you go.
Cool. That is cool.
I like that a lot.
That's fiery.
Yes.
It actually stands out really well. I almost prefer it without fimbriation. So if we don't need fimbriation, let's go with it, man.
I don't think we do in a pattern.
I don't think we do, period.
Who was
just-
that?
We'll just make an executive decision. Looks fine the way it is, and we'll just go with it. You have the power.
I put forward that this should be an amended. We should amend the Phoenix pattern to this.
Well, we have 3 sovereigns here. Amber, what say you?
If it goes through, it's Amber's fault.
And if it doesn't go through, it's Amber's fault.
Yeah.
That's why I'm looking up rules. But if we're saying that we're throwing the rules out the window, then I say I. Otherwise,
Out the window just
She
for
said,
the
"Hey,
specific
she's
pattern.
an idiot." Hey,
if for this one only, then my vote is yes.
Why
Cool.
don't we put it in for review with just to make sure we don't break any rules?
Yeah, that's
Well, of
actually what I'm
course
googling right now.
Well, no, but I mean, seriously, for field divisions, you're allowed to have color next to color. Right?
But those are for the divisions themselves.
Yeah,
Well,
divisions you
Yeah,
can.
but it's still a field division. It's a pattern division.
Divisions are significantly larger than the little diamonds on the pattern, and not only that, they're
From a pattern standpoint, would a Vare of Argent and Ore be rejected? I don't think so. I don't think the color rules apply to patterns. Anyone?
I was thinking.
Plus, I think it's on, not within the same.
See, here's my take on it, is that especially since the pieces on the pattern are essentially really little charges, if we have that rule in the first place because these colors on the other colors create low contrast and make them difficult to distinguish, the problem is only going to be made much worse, if there is a problem at all, by the shapes being so small.
Right. I think the only reason we made that rule was because of problematic color combinations, right? For health reasons.
Mostly. Okay, here I will screen share again. Here it is, teeny tiny. I think that's still perfectly visible as what it is. You can't necessarily make out the little triangles perfectly, but you can tell what the pattern is.
Are there any other 3-colored patterns out there in the wild?
I don't think so. Oh, you know what we can do and fix this whole problem? What's the hex code for sanguine?
Yeah, I was gonna say if you darken the red or the lighten the orange, wouldn't that then go with the rules that we've already created of light can go on dark?
Well,
Right.
this would work with the rules we created. But the only exception is the counter rule that we have is that we can't have the same family on top of each other. So that's the only exception. Oh, I see. Orange and red are in the same family.
Right. This is,
Right.
what's the
Right.
color code for sanguine?
4F0000.
That's not
Make it
as
smaller.
pretty. Huh?
Make it smaller. And instead of orange, make them red.
Now there's an idea. Hex code for red?
Red. D60000. D like dog.
That looks better.
I like that. Oh,
That's pretty
I like
cool.
the red and orange better, but
go back to the orange.
yeah, I like the red and orange better.
Go back. Undo.
Oh yeah, that's true. I can just undo. I like that one the best. But those two are completely legal. I would go with that one if we were going to go with one of them. But I do like that one the best.
I can see the contrast difference now. Now that we have something to compare to, there's a huge difference.
Right.
Okay, I just looked this up, and rule of tincture says the rule also does not apply to charges placed upon party-colored, divided, or patterned fields. Therefore, it is legal to do.
But that's charges placed upon a pattern field. That's not for the actual pattern.
Right.
But if it's legal for charges placed upon, then it's definitely legal for the patterns themselves.
No, because the symbols on the pattern are placed on the field, not on a pattern. Grant, do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah.
No, say it again. The symbols are placed on a field, not on a pattern.
Right. Yeah. When you have that orange little diamond on the red
Right.
field, that's different from putting, say, an orange saw blade on that pattern.
Right.
Right.
The rule that Amber just quoted is about putting a charge on top of a patterned field, on top of
Right.
the pattern, essentially.
That's true.
Oh well, was worth a shot. Let's see. Let's see what Ronan says.
I mean, to me, the way it looks like this, the little yellow chevron is actually the primary pattern.
What if you did
Little
just
screen
that
share
and
again.
made the bottom diamond red, so you don't see it anymore?
Well, what I was saying is the little yellow chevron is the primary pattern.
Right.
The orange is just an accent, and I don't see it as a problem.
Don't we have two-toned squirrel patterns? I thought we did.
Squirrel.
Yeah, what's it called? Hang on. Squirrel would be the ver. I thought there were two-tone ver.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I don't think a pattern made of two colors is a problem. I don't think it's ever been considered a problem.
Has anybody said that it is a problem?
I'm trying. I think I remember what Grant's talking about. We have a device with a ver of sanguine and sable, and yeah, here it is. And the problem that was brought up was that it was used as a border over sanguine.
Can you show us this device?
Yep, I just pulled it up. This one.
It's so little.
That's not my fault.
Oh, yeah. The two patterns, the pattern of the border and the pattern of the shield are conflicting.
Right. There was nothing wrong with the sanguine and sable pattern. It was the sanguine field on the sanguine and sable pattern.
Right.
Well, I don't have a problem with with this particular case. I mean, I like the look of that pattern with the orange on the red, but my perspective on it is that if we're going to have these rules, then they need to apply across the board.
Right. That's a good point. So it's simple to understand and simple to adhere to.
Yeah, I'm going through the Gutenberg site to go through it, and every single reference to patterns has been geometric, and they all appear to be two-color.
No three-color, right?
I don't see any three-color in there.
Yeah.
And that's one of the more complete collections of documentation.
Can you link that?
I saw when I was looking for that Tofu, whatever it is.
It doesn't lock up again like a giant.
Here's a 4-color one. There's a 4-color.
Mine's locked up at the moment. I won't see it.
I saw that one too, but is that really considered a... I guess that's a pattern.
These are furs.
Yeah.
What fur is that?
It's from Fox Davies.
Hang on, I had the name for it. Hang on.
Visit page.
It is ver of fur jus, or gules or sanguine and argent. Ver of 4. So you can have ver of 3 and choose 3 colors, ver of 5 and choose 5 colors.
Right.
Well, then let's go with it. It's pretty.
So what would we call it? Well, I guess it's a fur, so you give it a name. Yeah, it'd be Phoenix.
Yeah, that would be Phoenix.
What is the shield there with the red and... That's just 2-color.
I was looking to see if there was a specific name for this.
It's not quite the same either, because in that pattern you don't have the small shapes placed on a field of a obviously solid color like we do.
I was just referring to fur of more than 2 colors. That's all that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you look at all those furs, they're geometric, and no color is on top of another color.
Yeah, they're all next to each other. They're not on top, so they're not actually breaking any laws because they're next to each other. Not. Yeah.
And the whole shape is next to each other whole shape. Not
Because you
necessarily.
have diamonds on top of a colored field, that makes it very different. It's no longer geometric. If it was just all diamonds and they were alternating, that's very different.
Right. That's a good point.
And so when Amber mentioned what you did, that was the first thing that went through my mind is, wait a minute, furs and patterns are all geometric.
Ermine.
That's
Ermine
one
is
of
not geometric.
You have to refresh my memory on that one. That one is one I keep forgetting.
That's with
Was
the
that
squirrel tail.
Oh, that one, yes.
Yes, the little furs.
Yeah, but
Tails.
isn't in the case of ermine one where it's basically you're stuck with basically only 2 sets of colors?
Well, yes.
So it's never breaking any rule then because it's basically a charge on a field.
Well, that's ermine. You can do ermine and change the colors. But I'll bet
you still don't have more than 2 colors.
Yeah, and on top of that, I'll bet you that you don't find a violation in the rule of tincture among any of the examples that you'll find. At least accepted examples.
True, you go hop on DeviantArt and people break it all the time.
Well, I'm just saying.
No offense
I mean,
to
we
people
were
out
talking
there,
about.
I use that site too.
We were talking about that one with Sanguine and Sable. Adun said it was perfectly acceptable.
If you start talking about DeviantArt, you're also talking about people who call them, and I'm going to cringe, family coat of arms.
God, some of
My family crest.
And this is essentially kind of what happened last time I suggested that we alter Phoenix. It just kind of got bogged down and we never got anywhere. Nothing was ever
Yeah.
decided.
I think sticking with I guess if we made the chevron with the diamond a charge, a two-colored charge, we could make it. What was that called before that word that you used for random patterns?
Semi?
Yeah, we could make it a semi.
I think we could just go with my original suggestion. That does not break any rules.
Yeah, it was kind of nice. The standard diamond is kind of boring, but I guess maybe patterns are supposed to be boring.
I will offer to do a lot of research if you would like to find out if that would break any rules, because unless we're going to throw all the rules for it out the window, I can't actually say yes, because I think it should be fibrillated. That word that I cannot say because my Canadian tongue won't wrap around it.
Fimbriated. There's no L.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, it doesn't have to be super intensive research, but see what you can find out in terms of color on color in patterns. I said either of those, I think that looks really awesome with the orange, but if that won't work, I still think the diamond and chevron in gold on red would be better than just the plain diamond that we have now.
Are there any furs or patterns that make use of knots that just continue on perpetually in all directions?
I know not of such.
Because that would be another one that would basically be like this, where it's a geometric thing, but it's placed on top of a single colored field. If that's something that's been traditionally done and has always been acceptable, as long as, it's color on metal, or, the rule of tincture is applied, then I'd say let's go with it.
What is that one ordinaire with a knot called? That four-sided knot?
Not? I have no idea.
There's a lot of knots. I'm trying to remember them all. There's dozens of knots that could be done heraldically.
It's the fret. The fret. Do they have a fret pattern?
Because that was just a thought of mine, is knots have been something that traditionally has been used in a lot of blazons. And that's something I could see it as a pattern for a field.
I think that would be cool.
Freddy is a pattern.
Yeah, that's the
like
one I'm thinking of, although not with the fimbriation of black. Just solid lines doing their thing.
Yeah, that's just the ordinaire. It's a special ordinaire of that shape.
Because if we would accept that, then I would accept it with the red chevron in the diamond. That would be at least where I would stand, even though I have no voting power.
Yeah, I don't think the diamond one violates anything. It's just like the ermine. It's a because the dots on the ermine aren't connected either necessarily.
I think that the yellow chevron and diamond, both yellow, is absolutely within heraldic rules.
I agree.
The question is making that diamond orange. Would that be acceptable or not?
If we leave it as all yellow on the red, and leave the red chevron in there for that little bit of a feather look, yeah.
It's
After thinking
totally
about the
acceptable.
knot pattern and the other one,
It's totally acceptable.
so it's just one of those things where it's worth talking about and hashing out and thinking and yelling.
Vary of 4, and there's argent and ore on each other.
Which one is that? Oh, vary of 4.
Yes, with argent and ore on each other.
Next to each other.
Next.
Well, next to each other.
Next.
But
Ronan, what say you?
oh, we have a Ronin. Okay, Ronan, to catch you up, what we have been talking about. I brought up this phoenixy pattern again, and we all liked it. And Grant said, "Well, what about making the little diamonds orange?" So I did, and it looks awesome. But we're trying to decide if that's legal or not with the orange on jewels, whatever.
I agree with Trennick. If it breaks the rules, we shouldn't do it. But if it doesn't break rules,
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm trying to
Yeah.
figure out. Does it break the
Right.
rules or not?
right?
If it breaks the rules, we stick with yellow and yellow. If it doesn't, I really like the yellow and orange.
Put it on the screen again for him to check out.
Oh, right. Sorry. I forgot I'm not in screen share anymore. There we go. I said I brought up this pattern again that I had made as a proposal for Phoenix. And Grant said, try it with the orange. So I did, and I think it looks
Just to
awesome.
play, just to right underneath it. We're just messing around, see what it looks like. Yeah, that's what we were thinking too.
Well, I propose that for right now, we take the yellow and yellow with the little red chevron put in there, because I think it looks way better, and investigate the orange matter and append later if necessary.
Aye.
Excellent. So say we all.
Amber?
Oh, yeah, you got my eye. That's why I said I'm on the research of that already.
Right.
Sweet.
So for right now, we will take this one,
And
pending our investigation, we may move to that one later.
And that being concluded, I move to claim it as my fur.
Excellent.
Are we gonna have to do rock paper scissors here?
Well, it's between Grant and Amber, so they
Right.
have to fight it out.
Oh, I already said what mine was going to be as soon as you tell me what the English name for that one was, that you didn't know what I was talking about.
the Wechselfarbe?
What is that called?
There
in
is no English name for it. It's a German pattern.
She wanted the Shatner one?
Split berry.
It's the Wechselfee.
The Wechselfee in Purpur and Sable.
Ronan, was there an issue where we had limited furs for sovereigns?
No.
I just want to
It
be
was just-
really, really difficult.
No, that's a cool one.
You just can't be the same as any other active sovereign. That's all.
I cracked myself up.
It doesn't give the name. It shows it, but it doesn't say what it is.
Well, yeah, I guess we'd call that very countercharged? Counterchanged? What's the difference between counterchanged and countercharged? Is a charge
A little
countercharged?
line coming down from the R.
No, but is countercharged only a charge, or can you countercharge a background too? A division?
I have no idea.
What are we talking about here? I feel like I'm missing something.
Is the correct term countercharged or counterchanged?
Counterchanged.
I think they're both right, aren't they?
Google will tell us.
Yay, Google.
I think countercharge.
Yeah, here it is on Wikipedia. Misspelling of counterchange.
Okay, so it's counterchanged. Okay. Makes sense.
Humdy-dumdy-dum. Yeah, I can't find an English-ish name for that pattern.
Well, half the terms we use are actually more than half are in languages that aren't English. Why do we have to use English?
That's why I said English-ish. Yeah, all I can find for it is...
Vexel means change. So, and fe must mean ver. So it must be changing ver. Ver counterchanged.
See, I would be inclined to call it split. But, well, at least you didn't go with Verschabenis Gegensker Kenfa.
Oh, you're just doing the counterchanged bear? Okay, that's a fun one.
But I mean, it's like split and here.
Well, yeah, everyone is counterchanged, both the vertical and the inverted.
This one is the one she wants. This one.
So it would be Vexel Ferry.
Because I'm just doing it based off the German, and that's what it tells me, is that it's counterchanged both sets of ones, so...
Right. I said, I'm just glad you didn't want to go with this one.
They should say.
That just means offset, counterpotent. No, offset, potent.
And as German, I hereby disown you all.
Offset, potent, counterpotent.
See, if I were picking a regular fur, I would have gone with Varen Point. I think that's pretty.
There's a mustache ermine.
Yeah. Okay. But I think that is all of our business for today, yes?
Yes.
Anybody else have anything? Ronan? All right, then I will call it an evening and wish everyone a fond farewell. And
Well, I'm going to call it a morning. Night, guys.